Recently, Kotaku journalists melted down over the fact that they were blacklisted by Nintendo, and it wasn't very surprising since they have shared links on where to emulate Nintendo games multiple times, and they're always complaining about what the company is doing. But now they've decided to retaliate by posting an article with all of the recent Tears of the Kingdom spoilers, just proving how unprofessional they are. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So just a few days ago, I had to talk about Kotaku since their journalists, and one in particular, specifically Ethan Gotch, was freaking out over the fact that Nintendo blacklisted them from early Tears of the Kingdom coverage. They had made this post saying it's preview day for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a huge game I would love for Kotaku to be able to inform its millions of readers about firsthand. Unfortunately, Nintendo still has us blacklisted from advanced coverage, a move I would argue is both unprofessional and coercive. And this was hilarious because, of course, they're talking about how their site gets millions of viewers who would want to see their early coverage. I don't think Kotaku gets that many viewers every month anymore, but instead of just taking it like champs and accepting that they've pissed Nintendo off, they decided to act childish, and this journalist specifically decided to retaliate. They did the most unprofessional thing possible because a few days ago, Tears of the Kingdom footage and practically the entirety of the game leaked online, and Ethan decided to post an article pointing out a ton of the information we learned, and this was a pure move of retaliation, and it to me is hilarious because Ethan went on and on about how them being blacklisted was unprofessional and it just wasn't right for Nintendo to do, so in turn they doubled down and decided to do something even more unprofessional because clearly Nintendo blacklisted Kotaku for the slew of different things they've done over the years. Specifically, what comes to mind is this: only a week after Metroid Dread released, they posted it's already running great on Switch emulators, and they did link to the Switch emulators and how to actually play Metroid Dread without purchasing a copy of the game, and this was only a week after launch. It's like they wanted to negatively affect the sales for Nintendo, but they've also posted things like this. This was back in August of 2022. Yes, the Steam Deck can emulate 3DS and Wii U games, and of course, Nintendo has been going after a lot of emulators recently in the emulation scene, and Kotaku is posting article after article about this topic. It's a no-brainer why Nintendo decided, for now at least, they are not going to work with this company. I personally have hated Kotaku for years, and there's nothing they could do to save their image at this point, in my opinion, and I just don't think they understand that doing things like this make us dislike journalists and their site as a whole. I do not like Kotaku. I only click their articles if it's an archive because I don't want to give them my clicks. I just really dislike them at this point, but of course, after they decided to do this and post this article titled Everything We're Learning About Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from the Leaks, they have gotten destroyed by people. Now, I am not going to click on the article and show it, primarily because Nintendo is taking down a lot of information on the leaks right now, and even though this article is still up, I don't want to take a chance, but this post has over 3 million views, and people are just going after them. Please follow Vice Into the Abyss. I would love that. At Ethan, you cry about Nintendo's professionalism and then decide to publish this? Who's truly the unprofessional one here? Instead of posting about these leaks. They could have written a whole article talking about how they're not going to do that and they're going to support Nintendo and they're going to respect them. And it is terrible that the game leaked early, but instead of doing that, they did what, they thought would be the best option, which was to retaliate against them. It's funny how upset you got over this sign, yet it is the most honest thing we can say about Kotaku. This article proves it, and it is so true. This was at a convention. There was a Kotaku panel, and it says Kotaku's journal. It's funny. It's funny how upset you got over this sign, yet it is the most honest thing we can say about Kotaku. This article proves it, and this happened a couple of months ago at a convention. Somebody put this at the very bottom of a one of the guides at a con, saying Kotaku's journalistic integrity 404 not found. And it was hilarious, but they did melt down over it, and they were attacking this convention and saying how awful this move was and how, again, unprofessional it was, yet they are being extremely unprofessional. They have zero journalistic integrity. If you want to cry about other companies being unprofessional, that doesn't mean you should be even more unprofessional than they are. So I guess Kotaku really doesn't want to leave Nintendo's blacklist, huh? That's the only explanation I can find for publishing this. It's true, they are doing like everything in their power to stay on the blacklist that they have been whining about. Hey y'all, this article contains massive spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom, so if you were like me and want to go in blind, stay away from this article. This isn't some reverse psychology trolling. I'm deadass. Shame on you, Kotaku. And it's true, I did click it, I did read it. There are a lot of story elements that are spoiled in it, but also a lot of new mechanics and returning mechanics and some of the names of zones that you are going to be visiting in the game. I'm personally pretty excited for the title. I will be streaming it launch weekend. I am very excited for it. I hope it is as good as we are expecting it to be, and I do wish that some of it was not spoiled, since I do typically try to go into games blind and not look up a lot of information beforehand, but at the same time, a lot of it did seem pretty expected from everything we've seen in the teasers and trailers. But if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest sticking off of social media for the next couple of days. I don't even need to say it because all of you already know, but Kotaku is so pathetic and so unprofessional, and they are getting absolutely obliterated by gamers online for doing this. But I think it's hilarious because they are whining and complaining about being blacklisted, yet they're doing everything to stay on that blacklist. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.